How are you guys? Welcome back to Wargaming China, and today we're back at Matan, and I'm just going to walk you through the battle and go over a few things that I missed out last time. And I know this is a short time between videos, but I only do them when I've got the chance, so you better subscribe if you don't want to miss them. Okay, so as you know, if you watch my video, Matan Fortress, I played this war game on the weekend, and let me tell you, it was a cracker. The battle at Matan posed many problems for a solo war gamer, but also a lot of probabilities, you know. So historically, as I said, I had references that said the Japanese naval forces SNLF had landed at this point out of artillery fire. I had other references that said they'd landed in and around Sinkiao. I had another reference that they had tried to assault inside Tihempo Lake, I think it is called, well, inside the lake. And I had another reference that said at the end of the battle, because the battle ran from the 24th of June 1938 to the 26th. The fort had fallen by the afternoon of the 26th of June. So I set up all the Chinese defences as I could. In the fortress I put a regiment of Marines, and then 6 guns, 2 120mm guns, 2 12-pounder guns, and 2 3-pounders. And then because the officers were no officers present at the fortress, there was nobody to access the reserve ammunition in the magazines, so I only gave the crews reserve ready rounds. It would have been in recesses around the gun pit. So it worked out that the 120mm guns got 5 rounds each, the 3-pounders got 5 rounds each, and the 12-pounders got 2 rounds each. And so having set up the Chinese forces on the fortress itself, I decided to have the Marines having no ammunition shortages. But then when it came to the troops of the 53rd Army, who would be defending the Chinese right, I did roll 2 dice, 1 for each battalion, and I got a 4 and a 5. So as there's only 2 battalions present, one had 4 rounds of ammunition each and the other had 5. Now, the Japanese roll for the entry point was here, which was historically correct, so I was able to put the SNLF in there, and here. And I looked at that, and I thought, well, that's going to be an impossible task. So, as I said, as a solo player, those were the surprises I gave myself, because there was no Chinese forces here. This is an area of battle where we should have been, where the reserves from the 167th Division should arrive, but during the game I diced for that, they didn't arrive, just like in history they didn't arrive on the day. So by the time the Japanese had landed here and suffered extreme casualties in shipping from the guns, extreme, and the guns were getting hit. At the beginning of each turn I put the artillery grid down, and 4 rounds from the Izuma, from a Japanese cruiser. And since this was a 12-turn game, I went on for a long time. I had thought, as a Japanese player, I've done a few amphibious landings now, and one thing I've learned, if you're doing an amphibious landing in rapid fire, Only move your ships forward in the last part of the move. You know, second part movement. Don't bring them forward first. This ship was the only capital ship that survived the fight, and the reason for that was I decided to beach it to give the SNLF direct fire support, and it turned out that was a good thing to do, because that is what was starting to break the Chinese resistance, and the Chinese resistance is also just about given up because they can see they're being cut off from their route of retreat. The Japanese have got them surrounded. So the game itself I put down as a draw, because the Japanese had not advanced to the fortress, and they had this. I mean, they have literally managed to destroy what's left of the 53rd Army. It's trapped, and but they didn't take the town of Matan. So a draw. Very good game. Excellent bloody game. The ships were all victims of naval shell fire, and the Chinese did manage to get an I-16 onto the table, which did drop a medium bomb on the Japanese ship there. So it was a very good game. It went for 12 turns. As I said, even though if I was to play this game again, I probably will set this up again. I will focus more on the Japanese infantry and the landing badges with small arms fire. Because even if those troops had got ashore, the landing craft would have been empty, because I took a hell of a toll on those landing craft troops by the time I realised what I should be doing. The Chinese troops were too busy, the Chinese sailors and gunners were too busy engaging those beautiful targets which represent the ships. So as I said, it went for 12 turns. I had planned that it could even go for 16, but by 12 turns, as you can see, the Japanese on two sides are just about to cut off the Chinese route of escape of the 53rd Division. And even though the Matan Fortress is still in Chinese hands, there's no more ammunition for the guns. So I didn't have to call in. The game went well. You know, there were factors of the game that I didn't really want to play, that I didn't have to. I didn't really want to start messing around with chemical warfare. So I was glad that the way I planned it to work, it did work. And as I said, for the landing point, I just picked a D6 dice and rolled that for ammunition. Same thing, and it was a cracking game. I played it in one day, which is hell of an achievement for a 12-turn game. But it just was such a quick game. You know, it's always a quick game when you're having fun. Just try to think about anything I might have forgot to say during the Matan presentation. I don't think so. You know, as wargamers, we always have, especially solo wargamers, you can't have every aspect of a battle if you want to have the large scenario. So the way you can get those aspects of the battle into a large scenario is to dice for them. And that, you know, the essence for me of solo wargaming is that you have to be able to surprise yourself. The enemy must be making you, you know, but as I said, I'm not the world's best communicator, but I think I've just explained myself well. Alright then, that's all from me. That's all from Wargaming China. Hit like, see ya, bye.